Let's talk about why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas.
Here's my Black Friday shopping haul.
How much money do you spend every year on Christmas gifts?
Kind of embarrassed to say. I think I spend probably like 2,500, probably 3 grand.
Okay, so with what we just saw with Black Friday, basically not really having any good deals. However, I don't know about you, it seemed pretty packed where I was. I thought that this video would be pretty fitting talking about holiday spending because, of course, this is the time of the year where the spending is the absolute most. Basically, as soon as it hits October, it is Halloween season. Funny enough, when it hits November 1st, it's immediately Christmas, even though people spend a substantial amount of money during Thanksgiving, and then things don't really slow down until the new year. So I wanted to check out some clips, some experiences, and then some comments from you guys as well, seeing what's happening, what people are doing, how much they're spending, what they're spending it on, and some of the issues it could bring, because as we all know, the debt in the US only seems to be getting worse, and with wages not really keeping up with the cost of living, that turns into just swiping the credit card. So let me know some of your experiences and what you guys are doing for the holiday season, but I thought it would be good to start off with a video asking people how much they're spending on Christmas this year.
Dr. Vu, how much money do you spend on Christmas gifts a year?
I would say about 1,000.
How much money do you spend on Christmas gifts each year?
I mean, I kind of just spent 400 on one person, so about that per person.
How much money do you spend on Christmas gifts each year?
I would say between $100 and $700.
How much money do you spend on Christmas gifts each year?
Probably 500.
How much money do you spend on Christmas gifts each year?
About 1,000 total, probably.
Yo, Seth, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
Usually around 1,500.
Hey, Bailey, how much money do you spend every year on Christmas gifts?
Kind of embarrassed to say. I think I spend probably like 2,500, probably 3 grand.
Charles, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
Way too much.
Abby, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts per year. Hey, Rick, tell me how much money you spend on Christmas gifts every year.
Well, the second half of that clip was way worse than the first. So, I mean, I don't know how much you guys spend. You could leave it in the comments down below. But the 25 to 3,000, I mean, even like the 1,500, that could be an extra mortgage payment or two just for the yearly Christmas gifts. And that's all it is. That's not any of the very expensive decorations that we'll see a little bit. That doesn't include any of the travel. God forbid you have to fly to go see your family. That's why I drive almost 8 hours up to New Jersey during the holidays. I'm not spending $500-600 on a flight to be in the air for like 45 minutes. So imagine if you had an entire family. But this could end up becoming wildly expensive, and this happens every single year. Some of the comments from this video: I have no kids, just my 3 siblings and parents, and spend $2,500 to $3,000. I spend around $3,000 just on my kids. I would say $3,000 to $4,000 total for my 4 kids. I mean, this one's rough, man. I don't know what to say. We have a comment from one of you guys: when I bought my house last year, I was so excited to turn it into a literal gingerbread house for the holidays. And then I saw how expensive a single set of 3-foot Christmas lights are. So we talked a little bit more about seasonal decorations on my second channel, but with the clip that's on screen right now, definitely could not be cheap at all. It honestly seems pretty ridiculous to me to put a Santa hat on the house, not including all the other decorations that I bet are going to be coming. And I mean, if you like to decorate, all the power to you. Just please don't go into debt for it. And I would also try to advise you to start finding more vintage decorations, because it seems like a lot of the modern stuff is just absolute low tier plastic crap that you could buy for $5, $10, $15, $25, but won't even last like 2 holiday seasons. You just throw it out and have to start buying even more. But that's exactly what these big retailers want, because the comment section for the Christmas hat on the house is just full of the wannabe cool brands and, you know, buy my stuff in my store so I can make more money. The Mall, Simon Mall commented, Walmart commented, Princess Polly, never heard of that, and Home Goods, which is another big culprit of just a ton of decorations.
All right, how much are you spending?
$50.
Okay.
Okay, how much are you spending?
$50.
Here we could see some of the comments for the Spirit Halloween video. I think both of you showed great restraint. When it comes to Spirit Halloween, take all of my money, and I think Halloween's a very funny one to me. Some people go absolutely all out. I don't really care for it that much, but the amount of money spent on decorations for Halloween and then literally the next day, November 1st, it's like it never happened. Everything just disappears and it's immediately Christmas time. So you're spending so much money for basically 1 month out of the year, the beginning of October, but as soon as it's November, it's just put right back into storage if it actually will make it to next season, and then it's Christmas time.
I'm sorry I'm wasting a lot of your money, but I'm gonna have to get a nutcracker and an ornament. I want to hear.
I didn't know we could spend that much in 2 hours. Me too, girl. I mean, oh. All right, we're just gonna move on. Another comment from you guys, the craziest thing about Christmas decor spending is that it's only a fraction of overall holiday spending. So we could start getting into that. And the most recent one that just passed, Black Friday or a small business Saturday and then Cyber Monday, the whole weekend you're just supposed to buy, and that's exactly what people did. Cost of living crisis seems to be non-existent on Black Friday, and I ended up going to the malls with my friends, kind of just to hang out because I went back up to New Jersey for Thanksgiving. And I remember going either a year or two prior with my friends and it being pretty dead. So I expected it to be the same thing, and it was not this year. It was busier than I think I've ever seen it. It doesn't mean that magically people have started to make a ton of money over the past few months and now have extra income to spend. That just means that $7,100 or $7,200 per person worth of credit card debt on average in the US has probably gone up in the past week. And we have another comment from you, which is why I thought it would be so dead this Black Friday. Avoiding Black Friday shopping at all costs because the majority of these places claim things are on sale when it's the same price or more. We've seen that pretty consistently with the Amazon Prime days. There's actual proof where people were showing screenshots of their carts before Prime Day, and then after they would just hike up the original price and put the sale price to basically the exact same as it was a few days ago. So I guess major retailers have virtually copied Amazon and have done the same thing in their brick and mortar stores, but it didn't matter. I guess the fake sales this Black Friday still ended up working because, man, I saw a lot of people buying stuff. Now we could get into probably one of the craziest clips for this video. I mean, there's not really much else to say.
Let's talk about why our kids have a $20,000 spending limit for Christmas. For anyone new here, I'm Christy, this is my husband Seth, and we have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. Before you freak out, the limit is between both of them, so each of them only get $10,000. There's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to be able to fit everything in this one video, but here's some of our logic. So our reason for lowering the limit this year is we bought a lot of different stuff for them throughout the year that wasn't part of their Christmas. Our daughter got multiple designer bags, her own Tesla already, so when it comes to Christmas, we didn't want to spend too much after already spending so much all year.
I'm like a third through this video right now. I think I'm checking out. I'm done with this. I don't oh wow. This video definitely went viral, so a lot of people have talked about it already, but the poor babies had to split the $20,000 even though the 1-year-old literally won't remember it and the 4-year-old will probably have, you know, a few memories here or there. Do you remember that much when you were 4 years old? I don't. But some of the comments, we don't want our kids to be spoiled. Before you freak out, they only get 10K. Okay, like what am I supposed to say? These are the people that I guess are looked up to now in the influencer world with how much we use social media. So these are the goals for some people, and you wonder why you end up spending so much money and you never get ahead and you're always in debt.
I saw an article that said 25% of Americans are still paying off Christmas from last year.
Oh my gosh.
While simultaneously plan on spending more this year.
This year just keeps going.
And so I find that to be very interesting. So Rachel, I'm going to hit you with a couple of facts.
Okay.
And I want you to react. Okay. And let's get into this. So the stats say that on average, Americans are going to spend $875 on Christmas. And that kind of shakes out to a little over $600 on like gifts for like immediate family, coworkers, then another around $200 on like decorations, like miscellaneous things, and then another $100 on just kind of like random, oh, like that guy over there needed a gift kind of thing.
Okay.
What do you think about that number?
It doesn't sound like terrible to me.
I thought it would be more.
Yes, I would have thought at least 1,200. In my head, I thought it'd be over 1,000. For the average family, like that's not just Christmas gifts. This is like the whole holiday season.
This is the holiday season.
Yeah.
And part of me goes, okay, $875. couldn't we have like stacked up a little money throughout the year to make that happen?
I know.
So people are going into debt having to pay off last year's Christmas for $875, which again is not nothing. I'd like to have a free $875, but from what we've seen in any of the previous clips, that seems extremely low. People were at $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. So I would venture to guess that this stat will definitely be going up again this year. But we have some of the comments. I spend $1,200 on gifts and I don't have kids, but I do budget for it and I don't go into debt, which at least I'm glad for that. But $800 barely covers my 3 kids, husband and I. Like I said before, we saw figures way higher than that. And we have another comment from you guys that I think is pretty funny, especially with what the world has kind of turned into with holidays. There's a dumb holiday every month. Now there's Taco Tuesday, PSL season, which I didn't know what that was, but that's pumpkin spice latte season. So I guess that's become a holiday now as well. National Avocado Toast Day. Celebrating just because keeps your wallet full of cobwebs. Habitually study self-discipline, because how many times have you seen today's National French Toast Day? And no matter how dumb it ends up being with any of these days, it could influence you to go to IHOP and maybe you spend a bit more money on French toast than the home-cooked meal you were going to do. So imagine doing that almost every single day with some weird thing, some little decoration that you need to get. That could add up and be just as bad as the normal set holidays that everybody likes to spend, you know, the last quarter of the year. Speaking of that, Halloween adds on, you know, the haunted houses or the haunted rides, you know, horror nights, any of that. And on top of all the money for the decoration and the candy, possible costumes that you need for you and your kids, you don't realize how much another single night could add up until you start seeing videos like this.
We're at Halloween Horror Nights. Let's see how much money I spend. Thank you.
And there's no food.
I have to ask her for her. It's just talk.
Tequila?
Same amount of tequila, you just get more of it.
Oh, yeah. Just the regular cup is fine.
No, if you eat the pizza, I'll die. If you eat the pizza and the
So we're talking about $300 for one single day, not including anything else you have to do for Halloween. And I think this comment really adds on to all the themed holidays and how much we're seeing it on social media. The whole holiday shopping thing, influencers are putting out videos with Christmas decor earlier and earlier. It irritates me so much. I think the first Get Ready for Fall With Me video I saw was in mid-August this year. Let the seasons be the seasons, please. And I definitely agree with this comment in my seasonal decor video. I was talking about a Halloween sale and somebody was getting decorations at the beginning of August for the end of October. So you have months and months of this content you could be consuming because the algorithm thinks that you want to see it, and you get video after video and all of these different products for an even longer period of time than the season would normally be.
How much should you spend on your significant other for the holidays? It depends how long you've been dating. Okay, see, I like the route you're going. This is the way Forbes went. This is via Forbes. Okay. What would you say for less than a year dating? $50 to $100. Pretty good, Brian. Forbes says less than a year dating, $50 is the max, which I think is it's a little low. Inflation these days? Inflation, what are you going to buy? A bag of chips and a Coke. So what about a longer relationship? Like over a year? Oh yeah, over 2 years? I think it's decided upon each individual couple. Like some people like to go all out and get like Chanel bags and jewelry. I'm not about that. I'll get something maybe like, I would say anything above 500 is too much money. 500 above 500 is out of the question no matter what. The most expensive gift that I've gotten a significant other, I think, is $50. Wow. Human-sized dog bed. Worth it. Forbes says longer relationships, $100 is standard. I know it's just like, I feel like that's low. I would say like $200 to $250 is average over 2 years. They said if you're married, $100 is the median amount. One pair of like Lululemon pants is $120. We set a $150 limit. And your relationship's relatively new too.
So I think that people, especially in my generation, the younger, don't really adhere to that. At least in my opinion, I think it's for a few different reasons. Like they said, if you were going to get Lululemon leggings, they are unbelievably expensive. Everything is more expensive now. So it is a little bit hard to spend $50 and not just get a few rinky-dink items, unfortunately, in today's world. The other thing that I see is, especially with men in relationships, some people are really lonely. So as soon as they get some sort of attention from a girl or a girlfriend, they go all out, spend way more money than they probably should. Like they were talking about the Chanel bags or something insane like that and go into debt for it. Or it could just be trying to compete with the same sort of influencers and all the content that we consume, where of course this multi-million-dollar content creator got his girlfriend or wife a Lamborghini for Christmas. So how are you going to be able to compete with your girlfriend or wife? And it just becomes a competition that really doesn't need to be one. But unfortunately, that's how much we are influenced in today's world. So I'm going to end off this video with a little bit of advice for holiday shopping, because I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't spend a dime this entire quarter, but please just don't go into tons of debt for it.
36% of Americans use debt to pay for the holidays. Here's how to make sure that doesn't happen next year. So one of the most important things that you can do in January every single year is start to save for the holidays in January. And you want to treat this like a monthly expense. So what I do is every single January, I looked at how much I spent last year on the holidays. Then I take that number and I divide it by 12. And every single month I have a holiday payment that I pay to myself into my savings account, so that by the time next December rolls around, I have the money just there. And there's power in having the money just there, because you don't have stress with your money around the holidays. And all this does is make the holidays so much more enjoyable.
So that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.